When money was born, Mesopotamia. Money was not invented by geniuses. It was not created in a palace, and it was not designed to make people rich. Money was born because human life became too complicated. Long before cities, before kings, before empires, humans lived in small groups. They hunted, farmed, built simple tools, and survived together. Trade existed, but it was personal. You knew the person you traded with. You trusted them. If you had grain and I had meat, we exchanged. If you had clay pots and I had wool, we traded. This system worked when life was simple. But life did not stay simple. As communities grew, people stopped doing everything themselves. Some became farmers. Some became builders. Some became craftsmen. Some became record keepers. Specialization made society stronger. But it also created a problem. What if I had something you didn't need? What if you wanted shoes, and I only had grain? What if the shoemaker didn't want grain at all? Trade stopped. This problem wasn't rare. It happened every day. Barter depended on coincidence, and coincidence is unreliable. In Mesopotamia, the land between the Tigris and Euphrates rivers, this problem became impossible to ignore. This was one of the first places where humans built large, permanent cities, where agriculture produced surpluses, where temples, storage buildings, and administrative centers appeared. With growth came complexity. With complexity came friction. People needed a way to trade without depending on mutual desire. At first, they used barley. Barley could be counted, measured, stored. It became a unit of value. Wages were paid in barley. Debts were recorded in barley. But barley had weaknesses. It spoiled. It was heavy. It took up space. So people searched for something better. They found silver. Silver was rare enough to be valuable, durable enough to last, small enough to carry. It wasn't money yet, not coins, not currency, but it was standardized value. For the first time in history, value became abstract. You didn't need to want what someone else had. You only needed to agree on what it was worth. This changed everything. Clay tablets from ancient Mesopotamia still exist today, and what's written on them tells a powerful story. They are not myths. They are not prayers. They are not poetry. They are records. Wages paid to workers. Loans given to farmers. Debts owed to temples. Interest calculated over time. Money did not create greed. It recorded it. From the very beginning, money was tied to obligation. You owed, or you were owed. And once debt existed, power began to shift. Before money, power belonged mostly to physical strength, to warriors, to those who could take. After money, power belonged to those who could measure, store, and control value. Temples became financial centers. Priests became administrators. Writing became accounting. Numbers replaced muscle. For the first time in history, someone could be powerful without ever lifting a weapon. This was not simply economic progress. It was a mental transformation. Money changed how humans thought about the world. Value was no longer personal. It was numerical. You didn't need to trust people anymore. You needed to trust systems. And trust moved away from human relationships and into records, symbols, and agreements. This allowed societies to grow larger than ever before. Strangers could now cooperate. Trade could happen across distances. Cities could support thousands of people who didn't know each other. But this system had a dark side. Strangers could also exploit. Debt became a tool of control. Those who controlled silver controlled food. Those who controlled food controlled survival. Inequality did not appear through violence alone. It appeared quietly, through accounting, through who owed whom, through who could wait and who could not. Money created a new hierarchy, not based on strength, but based on access. Access to value, access to storage, access to records. Once value could be measured, everything could be measured. Time became labor. Labor became cost. Land became property. Even human life began to carry a price. This was the true birth of money, not as coins, not as paper, but as an idea that said, everything can be measured. And once humanity accepted that idea, there was no going back. Every empire that followed would depend on money. Every collapse would be tied to it. Every revolution would challenge it. Because money is never just money. It is trust. It is power. It is control. What began in Mesopotamia was not only an economic change. It was a psychological one. Humans stopped asking, "Do I need this?" and started asking, "How much is this worth?" That single question reshaped history. In the next chapter, money will take physical form: gold, silver, coins you can hold in your hand, and with them, power will become visible.